This is Counterpoint, and I'm your host, Tanya Granic Allen. New year, new goals, and for many Canadians, that means finally getting healthier and getting in shape in 2026. But with rising food costs, conflicting nutrition headlines, and shifting dietary advice, it's no wonder Eat Better tops so many New Year's resolutions. Just this January, the United States unveiled a major overhaul of its federal nutrition guidelines, including a redesigned food pyramid that flips decades of conventional dietary advice on its head, literally. The new pyramid elevates protein and healthy fats and promotes abundant vegetables and fruits and urges people to avoid highly processed foods and added sugars, a sharp contrast to past models that focused heavily on grains and low fat messaging. Meanwhile, in Canada, guidance continues to evolve as well, with recent Canadian food guidance updates encouraging balanced, whole food focused eating patterns that prioritize plant based foods, quality proteins, and reduced processed intake, all while trying to make sense in everyday life and at the grocery store. In 2026, many people are asking, what should we actually be eating? And how do we build habits that stick when science and headlines keep shifting? And with the rising cost of food, how can one eat well and balance the budget? What if you are a parent to little ones? Navigating kids and picky eating can be a minefield, especially when it comes to packing nutritious snacks and lunches for school or preparing a family dinner that everyone will eat. And what about being physically active? What are the new trends for vitality in 2026? Well, joining me now to provide tips and guidance is Emily Kennedy, a registered holistic nutritionist health coach with expertise in nutrition, metabolic health, and sustainable lifestyle strategies. Emily, thank you so much for coming on. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too. Thank you so much for having me, Tanya.
I know we're several weeks into the new year, but let's start with what people should actually be focusing on when they think about being healthier this year.
Absolutely. And I love your introduction because while it is big news that the US food pyramid is flipped, we in the holistic nutrition world realize that these are recommendations we have been talking about for decades in personalized nutrition settings. So, one thing to remember is that these are recommendations that are generalized. It may not fit with you specifically based on intolerances, based on economics, based on who else is in the family. So, one thing I do want to emphasize first and foremost, while it is lovely to see the emphasis on whole foods, real food protein, real fresh fruits and vegetables, and stepping away from the grains and processed products, less nutrient dense foods, these are still just generalized recommendations. Perhaps the day will come when generalized recommendations for the entire population will also have a nod to getting personalized nutrition recommendations from qualified nutrition professionals. That's one thing I do want to get across before we jump into, tips and tricks for these new generalized recommendations.
Yeah, and
So,
sorry, go ahead.
mhm. Well, we can drill right down and break this piece by piece into the whole food recommendation, particularly for protein. Do you want to start there?
Let's do that and explain for our viewers who may be unfamiliar with the verbiage. What do you mean by whole food?
Yes, so this is food that is as close to its natural state as possible, if you will, as close to the way God made it. So, a typical example I like to give is if you want the apple flavor, we want you having the real whole apple as opposed to an apple sauce or an apple juice. Or for the kids, we know that those squeezy packs are really popular. You want to get yourself and your family accustomed to eating the whole food in its natural state.
Right. Okay, I understand. So as close to nature as possible. So like
Mm.
chicken versus chicken nuggets that have been processed.
Correct, correct. Chicken
Okay.
with the bone in, skin on. A lot of this is intimidating, and this is where the coaching world comes in very handy. If you are used to just popping something in the microwave, actually cooking something that has skin and bone on it the way nature intended can be a little daunting. But this is, breaking it down piece by piece, actually a really enjoyable way to create a meal with more flavor for yourself and your family.